I was so happy for like a few minutes to see this morning. And of course, what must happen is got to go check it out. Those are my hours. Can I get in there? I have 1,999 subscribers. What happened? Was it a bot? Was it really a bot? Was it a bot? Was that you, Amaya? Did you unsubscribe? Something went wrong. Well, let's do a 2,000 subscribe special anyway. 2,000 subs. Now I got to watch this tonight. Joe Rogan and Zack Snyder. So, what did I learn from this? I think what I got, and I liked 300. I have not seen the parallel 300 Spartans Rise or whatever it is. It's the one that Zack Snyder produced, but could not direct because he had to do other things. So he did. So he produced the parallel story to 300. Watchmen, uh, the Living Dead movies, whatever it is, The Walking Dead, I think, whatever those movies are, those zombie movies, and then Batman v Superman and Rebel Moon, which he claims is going to be a 3 or 4 hour movie. We hope so, because that PG-13 cut was forgettable. So, I mean, I like his take on things. It's very similar to what I'm trying to do now, which is using heavy metal, using darkness. I think when I look at Man of Steel, I agree with like maybe 60% of it. 60% of that movie worked. The suit was great. Um, I will always condemn Superman and Lois making out in the middle of a 9/11 scenario, even though it's all green screen. I didn't like that Superman really, really went over the top after killing Zod. Yeah, killing Zod was hurtful. I mean, between the way that Zod died in Superman 2, either cut, Richard Donner, Richard Lester, or in the comic books when John Byrne had Superman kill the Phantom Zone criminals in a pocket dimension. I think that one was the best one because he did shed tears. He felt really horrible about it, but he knew that he had to do it. But these were killers, so that Superman knew what he had to do. And I just saw Dean Cain on what is it, Geeks and Gamers this morning. They're talking about hope and positivity and inspiration and brightness and colorfulness, which that is Superman as well. Now he talks about 300 and the Spartans, and it's a dark. I always see it as just an alternate universe in a weird theatrical stage where you see these perverted versions, partially by Frank Miller and then by ultimately by Zack Snyder, to give us what the 300 Spartans were like way back then. But it was always like a dark Masters of the Universe kind of thing, which I will cover in a future goth metal lore kind of video. And I hope I get more than 7 views because I only got like 7 views for this. Um, and there's so many different avenues here, but between wizards and stuff, I mean, he didn't talk about wizards, but so many dark and inspirational movies. I will say this: given the right storyline, Superman and Zack Snyder would have mixed very well. I'll give you an example. When Superman took the authority to the planet to War World and Mongol to liberate the slaves, you would have had all kinds of 300 or just like some Spartan themes in there, some darkness by these darker anti-heroes. Zack would have loved it. And Zack Snyder's argument here is that, you're putting Batman in a situation where he's going to have to kill somebody. Somebody's going to have to die. Now, I think he did backpedal on Superman killing the dictator or not. He said he didn't kill the dictator at the beginning of Batman v Superman because it's kind of like the school bully in the third grade picking on if you have a son, right? Let's say your son's being picked on by the school bully. So you go to the school and just go beat up the bully. You kill the school bully, right? Because you're the big adult. So that's kind of like the logic is that Superman should not kill because he's too powerful. He shouldn't just, all of this obviously because of his morality, but he's just a big, powerful guy. He's not going to do that. And to be fair, there were moments where Superman was dragging a whole ship through the ice. Superman rescued people from the flood, flood and Katrina kind of stuff. Superman stops a tanker. What is it? Not a nuclear power plant, but some kind of power plant from going haywire. Like Superman does these heroic things while Batman's returned. The Dark Knight Returns. And I enjoyed the director's cut of Batman v Superman, and I enjoyed Zack Snyder's Justice League. There's so much in there. There's so much theme, uh, and I do agree with his thinking. It's the technology, but it's dark and gritty, like beyond Star Wars. Like not just Star Wars. Like Star Wars was like middle school, and the way he does things is college. So with George Lucas, everything is a used universe, dark and gritty, grimy. Right? The Millennium Falcon is just an old piece of ship that Luke and Obi-Wan have to take to get to the Death Star or try to get to Alderaan, but it's used. And here it's much more, there's sexuality, there's use of drugs, even though, like, I guess the prequels had death sticks, right? Remember those death sticks? You try to sell Obi-Wan some death sticks. I mean, there's adult themes when there can be. So, like with Superman, a particular storyline would have been far better than the origin story. But like I said, I have mixed feelings between that and Superman the movie. It's like both of those movies really hold up, but I would say that the first one edges out Man of Steel. But I like most of Zack Snyder's movies. He follows Joseph Campbell's traditions. He's inspired by a lot of people. James Gunn's a different animal. I don't really care, except for Brightburn, which he didn't direct and he produced. Um, I just don't care for James Gunn's stuff. I think between Zack Snyder making the movies and like Todd McFarlane making the figures, the Spawn stuff, the dark metal stuff, the gothic or metal, whether it's industrial metal, doom metal, heavy metal, death metal, there's a lot of great stuff. Um, and on an unrelated note, slightly, I ordered two of the four figures, pre-ordered them for May. So those four Ghost of Krypton figures that Todd McFarlane's going to release, those action figures are coming out May 15th. So they look great. Even the Black Superman, who's from another universe, fine. Diversity and inclusion in the right places. Don't replace one with the other. Don't race swap. But yeah, I mean it's fine. A black Superman from a parallel universe, that's okay. He's got that Man of Steel look suit to him. So I'm happy for what he's trying to do now. If Rebel Moon is going to be any good, but I know everybody's kind of saying that. Even Angry Joe show, they say, this guy releases shit, and then later on, But I like a lot of his work. I saw some of Sucker Punch, and I thought that was pretty good. Most of it's an art style. Most of it's just taking the characters to new heights or new lows. Um, I don't think Zack Snyder does as many grotesque scenes or gutsy scenes. Like you'll see that in some other things, in like pure horror, like Leatherface, or you'll see it in Panos Cosmatos' stuff, or some of the art Paul Gerard does, or just whatever has gore. But Zack Snyder does everything with a dark tint, and not just the dark tint, but just the themes that run through it, like the mortality of things and um, just the style of it. It's just I'm going on and rambling on. I say we don't condemn this man. Let him tell the stories that he wants. Let him express what he wants. Um, and I think we'll be better for it. I'm looking for something different now for myself. I'm sure I'll get my 2,000 subscribers back, or my 2,000th subscriber back. I don't know. Hopefully it wasn't a bot. But I started out my channel telling a story, and I'm working, as I am talking to you, I am working on my stories. And when I get that done and provide some art, I'm going to show the table of contents and my first part of a larger story that's sort of a choose your own path, but it's not a multiple ending story. It's just, you read one chapter, you could go to the other chapter, or you could continue on that same chapter and read the whole story from one person's point of view. This is what I'm doing now. So the stuff that he wants to do, a lot of studios don't like. I just don't want to see the same McDonald's shit. I want to see something else. I'm tired of seeing superhero movies. Star Wars has disappointed me. I don't care for, what is it? All American Lawman, or what is that one that what is that one Clownfish TV is writing? They're writing their own fiction, and ISOM. I don't care for any of the anti woke stuff. So that's it. 2,000 subs. Can I get to 3,000? Do you think I can actually get to be monetized after all this time? Is the big question.